Good afternoon, guys. What's going on? What's cracking? I am beyond ecstatic right now. I've already mentioned this guy a couple times now. My painter, Travis Beaver, which I'll link all his stuff down below here, has taken care of me once again and kind of blown me away. I'll give a little short story here. Driving home, pull up to the garage. I'm like, is there fucking trash in my driveway? What is this? I see like a bag and like it looks like a box inside. I'm like, walk out after I pull in the garage and I go out and like, what the hell is this? And that's what's in it. But there's this box and this stuff sitting in the driveway, covered up. I'm like, what the hell is this? I pull it out. I see this note from Travis, and then I see these pieces wrapped up, and I'm like, shit, this is all my plastic for the Supra, for the MR2. And he went ahead and color matched and got it perfect for the trim, guys. The silver trim literally matches 100% perfect, good to go. I am beyond excited right now. The only thing I can say is the JDM piece here seems to stick out a little bit. If you can see here, it looks like there's a gap almost, like it should be pulled in more. I'm not sure if there's something hitting maybe. I'm not really sure, but that's beside the point right now. I am beyond ecstatic with the way everything looks. So what I need to do next is unwrap the other one, which is here. But I guess you guys probably want to know, what's the color? So for any MR2 guy out there that's looking to paint match or color match the silver trim on their car, it is this. This is what he came up with. This is the closest thing he could find because there's no true paint color code out there. It is called Silver Mist Met, M-E-T. And it looks like it's from a 1989 to 1995 Toyota, code 176. This wasn't the trim paint color, but that was the closest code he could find that would work, and it matches really, really well. So yeah, it's called Silver Mist Metallic, and it's from a 1998 or 1989 to 1995 Toyota, code 176. So I hope that helps somebody out there. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It literally matches like almost perfect. I wish I could. Let me unravel the other one here. So here's the old one is here on the right, and the new one is on the left here. The lighting doesn't help, and plus they're both kind of angled because, well, they can't sit up flat like this because the bolts on the backside or the studs, but it matches very, very well. I really can't say anything bad about it. You gotta remember this has 25 years of aging on it versus this one, so I would say this is probably what it looked like from the factory, and this, obviously the silver has some fade, so like beyond stoked right now. It looks so good, and it matches up with the trim. This all just looks good. I'm just so happy right now. So I just need to put it on this side yet because I've already done the other side and I should be good. The only thing I might do is, this looks like this could be notched out here. I might try and notch that some. I got to be careful doing it, but I think I might go ahead and notch this out some to make this sit in there a little bit more flush. Alright guys, and that is the finished product. The only thing I will say, again, I feel like there's a little gap now. These bumpers aren't, and these markers aren't designed for the US models. There is a slight difference between the JDM ones. As you can see, there is a slight gap. I never noticed it till right now. So I think maybe when I tighten this up a little bit more, it'll shore it up some, but it looks good. I like the solid versus where it was with the marker in there before. I prefer that over the orange, so good. Very happy with that. Now let's move on to some more new stuff. Alright guys, so I had to do a little bit of a tire change as usual because I always split my videos up because I've always got like a million things going on, but I got some more good news. Finally, I got my brakes in. So I finally got a set of authentic Supra TT brakes by Sumitomo. The last ones I got, you guys saw, they were no good. The castings were no good. The powder coat shop said they're junk. It's not worth the time. You're gonna have so much sanding and everything else in it, so I didn't bother with it, and that's my wife right there. So yeah, and yep. So I'm very stoked to have these. I'm really excited to get the color here. I can't wait to show you guys. I hate holding out on you. I'm trying not to, but I think you guys are gonna be beyond like blown away with the color on this and what they're gonna look like on the car. And I think they'll look really good with the new wheels. I think the flat back faces on the new wheels will really pop with the color I'm going with. Again, big shout out to my friends who helped me get these. Mike Pippin, buddy, thank you, man, for getting these to me and getting them to me quick. I'm pretty stoked to get these on. My buddy Keenan actually offered me a set for free, which I didn't even know. So Keenan, thank you again, buddy. I appreciate you giving me that offer, at least putting it out there. He's the whole way in Japan too, so it's kind of a big deal. He's gonna ship them over. I'm not sure if the actual Japanese spec are different from the US DM spec, TT brakes. From what I've researched, I think they're exactly the same Sumitomo, same exact design and everything. So that would have been pretty cool. But hey, at least I got them now, and I can send them off to the powder coat downtown. Unfortunately, one of the biggest issues I'm still fighting here is the cold weather, rain, and all that other stuff. I want to get the cars out, and I'm still unable to do so. I do have the trim on all the cars now, which is great. The cars are all done, except for the MR2s waiting on tension rods from Wilhelm Raceworks. I got that backwards. I'm still waiting on those for the fact that powder coat's holding him up. The rods have been done. It's nothing he can do. He's gone to the powder coater twice now, and the guy's just dragging his feet, something fierce. I think the rods were actually done back like mid-January, a little maybe before that. I mean, even though he told me it was going to take him a while to do them, I thought he pumped them out pretty quick in my opinion. So that's the only thing really holding me up here, which sucks because I just want to go for a drive. I want to test this car out because I need to test the brakes, but without the tension rods, as you can see, the wheel goes back and forth. There's no like even trying to put it down because it's going to put pressure on the suspension going which way or the other. I just don't want to take the chance. I'd rather wait till I get the tension rods to put it back down. I really need to get rid of these tires too. The tires itself, I'm going to get the same size, but these this style Federal tire, the 595 SS, they just stick out. They have like this weird lip that makes it stick out past the rim, the actual rim of the wheel. And it does in the back too. The 255 is obviously worse, but with a stretch 235, this should be really sunken in, and it still has this, I don't know, I want to say 5-6 millimeters worth of tire sticking out past the rim. That's stupid. I'm not sure why it's designed that way. My Nittos aren't like that at all, so that's something I'm fighting. I'm waiting to hear back from Toyo or Nitto Tires for a sponsorship. So as soon as I hear back from them, I'll figure out which tires to get. Gotta have me a Keystone, boys and girls. So kind of like the title says, how did I go about buying my Supra? I get asked this a lot. And I'm not sure if I've made anything on this yet or like kind of gone in detail, but I'm going to kind of start from the beginning on this, like how I got into it and how I went about buying it. So I'm going to start from the really beginning here. So it really started back in, I would say 07. I was in college and I'd wanted a Supra for a long time, but I could never afford one. I'm in college right at the time and I couldn't afford one really then either. But I had been dreaming about it, lusting over this car. I'd seen people buy them, and the market tanked. 2007, 2008. Housing market fell in 07, and the rest came with it in 08. And I was still in school, and I kept lusting over it. 2009 comes around, I get my first big-time job. I get fortunate, I work for an oil and gas company called Bentley, and I'm still looking for this car. But instead of buying this car, I do the more responsible thing. I'll say, air quotes, responsible. And I go out and buy a brand new 2009 Lexus IS250 6-speed. Yeah, not one of the brightest moments of my life. I bought it because my parents were like, you don't want a two-seater, it won't do this, it won't do that, blah, 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 blah. And give a little background story on that too. At the time, I had a Celica GT, a 6th gen, same kind of body style, same color as my current Supra now, that I had to get rid of. It had 200-some thousand miles. It had been a great car, but it was time to go. And unfortunately, my parents were like, you're not allowed to have two cars. You know, you're under our roof still. We love you to death, but if you're going to stay here to help pay off your college loans and do everything, you're not going to have two cars. I get it, understand, done. So I buy the Lexus, and after like 6 months, I'm over it. I just didn't like it. The payments were too high. It just wasn't for me. I drove it around. It was a fun car, but it wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't what I lusted over, because the whole time I had it, I'm sitting here dreaming about owning this car still. You know, it just wasn't the same. So 2010-ish, 2011 just coming around, and I finished paying my school loans. I put every penny I could. If I wouldn't have bought the stupid Lexus, would have paid off even faster. And I paid for all my college loans in full. I just didn't want any debt when I'd go to look for a house. That time comes around, and I say, you know what, I'm going to buy the Supra now. And my dad looks me stern in the eyes, straight in the eyes, and says, you're not buying a Supra until you get a house and move out of mine. All right, Dad, done. So I decide I'm going to buy a house so I can buy a Supra. The most unlogical, dumbest fucking thing you could possibly do is to buy a house so you could buy a car. Who does that? I do. So start looking for houses. First one we find was shit. Unfortunately, it had oil heat, and the dogs that had in there before, I was wondering what the smell was. Eventually, after we actually didn't buy the house, they had to rip up all the carpet and all the floors because they had pissed on everything. It had seeped down into the floors itself, the hardwood floors, and ruined everything. They couldn't get the smell out, so you had to rip out all the wood, and I would have had to pay for that if I would have been there, so thank God I didn't buy that. End up finding this townhouse right here. This place I found thanks to my one friend. It's local to my house. And as you can see, probably, I'm not sure if I'm posting up the right one here, but the price is extremely low. Like I said, this is 2011. The market's tanked. Insurance, or not insurance rate, but prices for getting a house are bottomed out. You can get an interest rate at 3%. You know, and banks are, you know, clawing to get people to come in because everyone's scared shitless. Even I shouldn't say that getting a loan is still hard though, because of the market falling out. It's been kind of hard to get a loan. Thank God I had good credit. I didn't have to have a cosigner or anything, and they had the USDA loans, which, if you didn't know what that is, it's like a government-style loan that helps you out for first-time home buyers. Anyways, let's get back on track here. I find the house I like. At the same time, I'm looking for a Supra. And I keep finding stuff, a bunch of autos. I knew I wanted an NA. I shouldn't say that. I knew it was going to be an NA because of the fact I wanted a manual. This is going to make you guys cringe because I found a low-mileage, 70,000-mile red automatic TT Supra on KW coilovers, fully done over, had stock twins on it, but had like Powerhouse of Music exhaust, had an ARC intercooler and stuff, and you wanted 17.5, and I was like, that's way too high. I'm not paying that. It's an automatic. It's not worth anything. Nowadays, that motherfucker would sell for like $45,000, if not more than that. So it's kind of ironic that I didn't buy it, but I'm looking, and at the time, Facebook isn't as powerful as it is now, but I decided to post up on Facebook to my friends. Back before you could even add pictures, you just post it up. And I posted up saying, hey, I would like to find I'm trying to find a Supra. If all my car friends out there know of any, please let me know. Like, I'm really looking for one. I found X, Y, and Z, and they're not making me happy. Well, my friend Derek Weil, he goes, hey man, you seriously want a silver one, right? And I said, yeah, I'm looking for a silver. He's like, what about this one in Winchester, Virginia? Sends me this Craigslist ad, and I'm like, has 3 pictures on it. I'm like, it's dark out too. I'm like, this thing's gotta be shit. I look at it, contact the guy, and he sends me like 100 pictures of it, and it looks decent. But it's in like the back of his house, and I'm like, I don't know. And we're talking, he wants like 13 grand for a 5-speed NA with like 130,000 miles on it. I'm like, you're smoking crack, man. There's no way. We ended up going back and forth for about a week, and I get him down to 10.5. And that's what ends up selling after everything's said and done, like 11,000 taxes and stuff here in Pennsylvania. So we agree on that. It's kind of ironic though. We drive down, pick it up. My friend's dad had a Bentley, so I'm riding down to Bentley after I Jewed this, for lack of better words, Jewed him down on this car, and we go down this Bentley. This guy's like, I thought you said you didn't have any money. I said, that's not mine, that's his. But end up picking up the car, signed everything there, and the best part is, as I'm driving back, my friends and the other car and the Bentley are both fighting over, get this is a non-turbo Supra, they're both fighting over who's going to get to ride with me back. They both want to ride back with me, none of them want to ride in the Bentley. It just kind of gives how iconic and cool the car was. It still is to this day. They're both fighting over it, and I give my buddy Sam gets to ride with me back, and we're going through Frederick and just smiling ear to ear. But the funniest part with it all is I had to buy this house. So what happens is I couldn't afford everything. I couldn't afford to have a Lexus. I couldn't afford to have the house and a Supra. I just couldn't do it. I was making like $40-some thousand a year. I couldn't swing it, and I was a single guy. So I'm like married now to my beautiful wife. So what I had to do was, on Friday, go down to the dealership and trade in my Lexus. Thank God, even with it being wrecked, I ended up getting $3,000 over what I owed on it. I have a brand new car, just had a basic 5-year loan with a pretty high interest rate. And it was wrecked, and they gave me like $3,000 over. Probably shouldn't say this, but I told them it was an F-Sport, had F-Sport badges on it, and they're like, is this a real F-Sport? At the time, they didn't exist. And I was like, oh yeah, definitely a real F-Sport. It's like, okay, we'll mark it up as that accordingly, and we'll give you $3,200, which I was expecting to break even after I did my research on it. So when they gave me $3,200 for it, I was like, golden, done. Got that, got a Corolla. On Saturday, I went and signed for the house, and on Sunday, I picked up the Supra. My parents didn't even know. They came by the house, and they're like, what is this? I said, you said I couldn't have a car until I bought a house. So I bought a house, and I bought a car. It was a struggle. It was awesome. I smiled every day. I love that car, but I had like $400 left over every month. Pretty fucking stupid. Don't do what I did. I love the car to death, but like looking back on it, I could barely sleep at night, and it gave me a ton of stress. So if you can't sleep or you have a hard time with stress as it is, don't be like me. But I've had the car ever since. 2011 now, it's February of 2018, and I still love this car. It still makes me smile every time I drive it. It doesn't get old. I hope this is coming off sincere enough, but I mean it. Like, I couldn't be happier with this car. The car had hail damage and a couple other things wrong with it, but it was still my dream. It still had everything I wanted and then some. If I could do it again, I absolutely would. I absolutely would do it again in a heartbeat. I've met so many great memories. My wife was super positive about me buying the car. I met a ton of great friends through this car now. I'm able to do YouTube now because of this car. That's what really geared me towards it. The first video I ever did with YouTube was 5 things I hate about my Supra and 5 things I love about my Supra. It's been an awesome ride, and I don't think I could have been any happier about it. All right, guys, so I hope that gives a little background on how I got the car, why I bought the car. Like, again, I'm just going to break it down here. I paid $11,000 for the car back in 2011. It's now 2018. Struggled to get it. I didn't have much money. I was making 40-some thousand a year. Had a house that was like $1,100 after taxes and everything, home insurance and all that stuff. Like you saw earlier, the price of the house was really low. It's like $165, I think I paid for it, or $159, something like that. I'll find out when the picture's posted up here. But yeah, so anything's possible, but you're gonna have to grind. I mean, I did. There's people out there probably thinking like that doesn't seem like a whole lot of money, but I just didn't make a lot of money. I was 23 years old. I was fresh out of college for the most part. I was low in the totem pole, just starting out in engineering. So yeah, probably one of the best decisions I did. It was definitely very, very stressful looking back on it. I was like, how the hell did I do it? But I'm glad I did it, and I'm super, super happy about it. So guys, I hope that gives a little insight on my life and what I had to do to afford these cars, to afford the Supra really. The MR2 is a different story in itself. Maybe I'll do that another time. If you guys would like to see that video, let me know now in the comments. If this was helpful, let me know also. I like doing these kind of videos. It's kind of fun for me as it kind of gives a little backstory on me so you guys get to know a little bit more about me. So let me know down in the comments if you enjoy this kind of stuff. If not, then I won't do it anymore. You guys said you wanted to know more about my personal life and you kind of wanted to know more about the Supra and the MR2, so that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm also going to start and try to do more informational videos. I get a lot of comments about that, so I'm going to try and gear towards back to that. I saw a lot of things saying like they don't want me to turn into Street Speed 717, which I don't either. I think he's a super nice guy. Mike seems extremely nice from the times I've met him, but that's just not me. So I don't want you guys to think that's the path I'm going down. That's not the path I want to go down. So yeah, just let me know down in the comments. All right, guys, thank you very much. That's going to be it for this one. If you do me a big favor, go check out the merchandise. I got it listed all down below. I got new stickers, hats. I got brand new shirts coming. If you follow me on Instagram, you already got a sneak peek at that. Actually, let's go ahead and throw up the new shirt design right now. So that's a new shirt, guys. I'm pretty freaking stoked on this thing. I paid a good bit of money to get it professionally designed, and I think you guys will like it. Having proper shirts made, they're all gonna be normal fit, Gildan 50-50 blend, so half polyester, half cotton. So when you wash them in the washer, they're not gonna shrink on you. I hate that when they start turning into belly shirts. I hate that shit. So thank you very much, guys. Yeah, hope this was helpful, and I'll talk to you later. Peace!